Okay, so this week's Torah portion, I read the Torah slightly ahead of schedule for whatever reason. Um, in other words, I taught myself some of these things just by just picking up a book. I paid a couple of people in another state, in the state of Nevada, about and attended as a guest meagerly one or two Shabbos services here and there. Sometimes not even the full service because other things to do, and I didn't really know what was going on that much. I didn't speak the language, so on and so forth. So with that being said, and all you know, basically this week's Torah portion, PARSHAT Veyiera, starts with a V, I guess. Talks about there's all kinds of things that this Torah discusses, but how one rebuke can turn away over 100 or 1,000 or a gazillion, or one mock, so to speak, can turn away or overturn 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000. It says specifically 100, but or more, depending on the gravity of the realization of rebukes. So one mock can overturn a volume of rebukes. In other words, to generalize. Now you don't want to make an overgeneralization of these things because that may be inerrant, so to speak. But in the same way, if you make an overspecification of something, it can also lend itself to be somewhat inerrant depending on various scenarios. So these things are designed for Torah study, and then in other places and they are useful for brain training and understanding the world as it is and the world as it could be, things of that sort. So there's correlations between the Torah, the five books of Moshe, that is, and other things at times. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's false correlations. Sometimes there's true correlations, things of that sort. So it also I found that relatively fascinating. Discusses about Ishmael, things of that sort. One Arab or Arabs taking the place of Jews who necessarily may or may not follow the Torah and mitzvot. Relatively fascinating. It's on page 87 and 88 of the Stone edition of the Torah. I actually made a special mark in there about the lethal downpour of things, and the Arab, and of course Ishmael, the descendants of Abraham, Sarah, Lot, things of that sort. Anyways, until next time, over and out.